Everybody, welcome back to Fourhim2013's channel. Right back at you with another Motivational Monday live stream. Today's topic, as you can see behind me, is going to be on the word change. Alright, let's begin. So, when I think about change, I've personally listed maybe a few things that I would like to talk about, like to discuss some things in regards to change, some things I would like to share with you guys that I believe have sort of like helped me out in life when it comes to change. And change is a big one. It really is. I mean, change is like, we've talked about particular subjects to help us in life, but ultimately, I think like when it boils down to it, you just have to be willing to change your approach, just how you just overall everything. What happens is in life we are approached with this word change. Sometimes something may not work out. We may have to go a different route. We may have to change the way we think, etc., different things like that. So the first thing I would like to talk about is attitude, about how we approach life situations. When it comes to change, sometimes in life, when change approaches us, a lot of times it affects our attitude first. Attitude is sort of like how we deal with the situation. I don't know, maybe you like slamming things with everything that you do. Come in, you slam the door, you throw the stuff down, whatever, you slam your jacket here, you do this, and you throw your books down, you throw your tablet down, or whatever, you throw your phone on a table. Maybe it's just in life how you sort of react and approach life situations. I think that that's one of the main things that needs to be sort of like altered in our lives, especially like when it comes to like handling different things. Attitude, I was always told by my pastor, not that I'm trying to get religious with you guys, but had a pastor tell me, he said, attitude determines altitude. It determines how high, how far you go in life, and how you react to life situations will definitely pave the way for you, whether it be to something good or to something bad. Either way, you're gonna pave the way for yourself, but that solely depends upon you and how you approach different things. And so attitude, when it comes to change, that's one of the first things that you have to be willing to be receptive to. One of the things that you have to be willing to be responsive to in regards to how far you get in life. If you're wondering why people don't want to maybe like hang around you, now I'm not making this video to say, hey, you should become a person who is guarded by opinions or whatever, or a person who is should be based off of opinions. Well, nobody opinion ultimately determines who you are in life. It's what you make yourself out to be. But change, they always say, starts with who? You. Change starts with you. So if you are tired of these different aspects in life, such as maybe you are tired of how you are approaching situations, and you're starting to see that it's taking effect with people. You may say, man, wow, I was really mean to that person, or I slammed stuff around this person and it made them feel really uncomfortable. I should probably, stop doing it, but I don't really know. Maybe you haven't properly been taught in life of how to alter that. What are some alternatives to that, to different things? And just speaking in general, nothing, specific toward anybody. But if you are an individual and you are tired of this particular aspect, such as your attitude, how you approach things in life. Maybe you want to handle things differently. Well, that's one of the main things that need to be that would need to be subject to change, because that determines how far you go in life. And you want to open up more doors for yourself, which means approaching things on a more positive aspect, on a lighter note. And getting into our next topic is one thing that I've noticed recently, just within maybe the past 5 or 10 years, is that diet has been a very, very big thing. It's become a huge part of the mainstream of the world, of how people are taking their diet. They're taking a diet a little bit more serious. Perhaps maybe people are tired of looking and feeling like crap. Maybe they're tired of their body feeling like crap every morning that they wake up, inside and outside. Maybe they don't like the way that they look in regards to maybe their weight, maybe their skin, maybe their hair, whatever the case is. More people have taken more of an approach to having a better diet. And in my opinion, diet is definitely something that is confronted when your body is feeling a certain kind of way. And especially when you're tired of your body feeling a certain way. When you're tired of your body feeling a certain way, and you're like, man, I'm tired of waking up with these aches, these pains. I'm tired of, like, when I go and take a walk, I can only walk 5 or 10 minutes, and my back is hurting, or whatever the case may be. And you're thinking, like, something's got to change. And that word approaches people's, you believe it or not, a person may not verbatim say the word, but I guarantee you it is definitely popped in their head probably 100 times more than they have said it actually out loud. It's probably popped in their head, and a lot of times people are confronted with this word a lot of times, way more times within the mind than they actually show it. If you see a person out there that's working out and they're diligent and they're eating different and they have the appearance of being more healthy, ask anybody who is at that stage in their life where they like, changing my diet, changing my attitude. They have been confronted with that within themselves for a long time prior to them making a decision. And you can ask anybody who's at that stage in their life where they are changing the way they do things. Tell you, for years I was tired when I was young, I was this and I was that. They give you ultimately the same testimony. When they were young, things was going this way, and they got older and they realized things started to fall apart, and they were tired of it, and they knew that they had to make a change in life. They knew that they had to. They didn't know how to do it. Maybe they didn't want to take the approach, but then they finally stepped up and they made the approach, and they feel so much better about it. Ultimately, they give the same testimony, which is good. Because that goes to show you that change is one thing that is confronted with us a million times over before we actually make the decision. So people who are tired of looking and feeling like crap, ultimately, when it comes to change, that word, it's for the benefit. Nobody who is feeling like crap and feeling unhealthy is gonna change their diet and make it worse than what it is. I mean, or even that attitude. Nobody who has a bad attitude or a bad way of approaching things is just going to change it and make it worse. Ultimately, when change happens, people usually try to do it for the better, to be one step above the appearance, the way that people think about you. Now, as much as this may sound extremely opinionated, I would say take it how you want, but it's not so much that it's opinionated, because again, one person or many people's perception of you doesn't define who you are. You define who you are. On my Facebook post, my intro tag, it says, "I'm not what society say I am. I am, no, I think it's something like, it's not about like what society say I am. It's what I make myself to be." And that's like my intro tag, because that's true. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not about what society says about you. Unfortunately, you have a lot of celebrities out here who they are so like publicly out there and so transparent that they don't really have a private life. They don't really have a time to be them. They are so pumped up by what everybody say and think about them, that it's like you can, there's very few celebrities who you actually see that are more down to earth and more like, yeah, I'm making making myself I'm making myself out to be what I believe I am, not what society say I am. So appearance, the way people think about you. I'll say this much. When it comes to jobs, when it comes to just paving the way for yourself in life, appearance matters. Appearance does matter. Where I'm from, my kind of people, in some cases, I'm not sure if it is like that now, but like definitely back in the day, my kind of people, African Americans like myself, we were like stereotyped as sort of being like lazy, or didn't wanna work, or was in it for this or for that gain, only to benefit ourselves or something like that. It was a really, really crazy stereotype. It was so messed up, and it made it hard for me to get in something good, because people may have not admitted it, but they've already had a stipulation on me when I've sort of come into certain job workforces. They've already had like a stipulation about me. Oh, he's just gonna be lazy. Oh, he's gonna be talking to everybody, whatever. He's not gonna do his job, or and I've seen it in their face. I've studied psychologically people's I guess their body language. I've studied people's body language, and they had it, and ultimately they treated me differently up until, and it wasn't like super different, like, oh man, they're totally being prejudiced, or they're totally being biased or whatever. It's like they were sort of like standoffish. They didn't really talk to me. They were more so very formal with me, rather than they were casual with everybody else. I guess to make sure I did my job. I understand, but ultimately it affected. At first, it just my appearance alone affected. Sorry. I had just woken up about like an hour ago, so like me yawning, it's the oxygen trying to get to like my brain. But the appearance, so I had to trim myself up. I had to make myself look nice. I dressed like a classy person. And I've studied, I've read books, I do my research, and I've talked to people about like vast number of different like subjects and stuff like that. And I'm not out here living a typical stereotype that people had of me. I'm living something different. And so if I don't want people to think a certain way about me, I have to change the way I approach things. I have to change my diet so that I can continue in what I'm doing. I have to change my appearance. So not only do I have like this, I don't know, so I don't have like this, lazy or this typical stereotype of me or whatever, but I have like this hard working, good work ethic, intellectual kind of appearance or whatever. And that's not just putting on that type of front, but actually backing it up by doing my research, dressing a certain way, talking a certain way, and it will pave the way for you. People will talk to you more, flock to you more, whatever the case may be. So appearance is definitely something. Unfortunately, a very sensitive subject is when it comes to my fellow ladies that are out there. If you are dressed in a certain way and you see guys, they're looking at you a certain way, and maybe they're talking to you a certain way, and it makes you feel uncomfortable. Yes, maybe what you have is comfortable for you, but maybe there's something that needs to, I guess, like change up depending on the severity of it. Like I've seen a lady. It was in a store one day. She was wearing some very thin skin tight pants, and unfortunately you can see the person's you can see her undergarments. I mean, it's clear as day. You can see her undergarments. She might as well have just not been wearing the skin tight pants. And there were guys who was whistling at her or whatever, saying yada yada yada, and she was just like turning pale in the face or red or whatever, and she was just looking all uncomfortable and everything. And I overheard her say, "Oh, it made me feel so uncomfortable." And I'm thinking to myself, perhaps maybe it's what you are wearing that is approaching a particular crowd. And sometimes you don't like to talk about these different things because people are very sensitive to these type of subjects. But change, brothers and sisters, change is a very sensitive thing. Change, when you are confronted with change, it can be very sensitive because it's challenging you to change your very nature, just everything, how you approach, how you look at things. And that's the thing that really comes back and bite us. Sometimes we regret that we didn't change the way we did certain things, the way we approached certain things. Maybe we could have got that job. Maybe we could have been married to this spouse right here. And that's another thing too. A lot of times people out here are looking for Mr. Right. Maybe you've passed him a billion times, but because of how you approach things, because of how you handle things, you just didn't see it. You just didn't see it. And the thing about it is, when it comes to opposites attracting, whatever the case may be, to each its own, you have to prepare yourself for it, as well as they have to prepare themselves for it as well. So, with that being said, changing your appearance is definitely something. Now, you're not guarded by people's opinions or what they think about you. You're not giving into the stereotypes or anything. But you, who is tired of maybe, people approaching you a certain kind of way. I was tired of people approaching me based upon the stereotypes of African Americans. When I step into a place, people look at me like, oh, there they go. And I'm like, hold up, sorry. This guy here, I am educated. I am intelligent. I am dressing a certain way. You don't see me out here like all these other, young guys or whatever, sagging my pants and talking about, gang banging or anything like that. I dress up, I cut myself up nicely, I dress classy, I come in, I have an education, my bachelor's degree, whatever the case may be. It's just like rising above the stereotypes, making a change. If I don't want people, not that I don't want people to think a certain way about me, so I dress and look a certain kind of way. But I want in life the way to be paid for me. I want in life the way to be paid for me, and so I have to sort of rise to the challenge. The next thing is changing your mindset. My mom always told me, she said, positive thoughts, positive outcome. Change your mindset, the way you think about different things. Some people are very negative minded. And those are the kind of people, fortunately, you just got to stay away from. Everything in life is just negative with them. Even they try to approach things to be positive, they're still negative about those things. I'm trying to, in life, I'm trying to, do things, and, it's just a struggle and stuff. It's like, listen, okay, I get it. Everybody's going through this. But you know what? Positive thoughts, positive outcome in life, right? You have to change what's going on inside of here so that when it projects out here, it attracts the type of crowd that you want. I mean, the type of crowd that you surround yourself with is the type of crowd that you attract yourself based on your mindset. If you want to be successful in life, you have to surround yourself with successful, driven people, right? And your mindset has to be success, and it has to be everything that revolves around success. Positive thoughts, positive outcome. The next one is plans. Changing of plans. Some people hate changing their plans. But at the same time, there are those who are out there who just make a certain plan and they're like, okay, this is going to work. There's a such thing as plan B, plan C, plan D, right? You can't just rely on plan A to just work. Sometimes plan A is good. Sometimes plan A is good. Sometimes plan A seems like it's just going to work out just perfect for you. And what you have to do is you have to have a fallback plan always. You have to always have a fallback plan. You have to always make sure that you have a second plan in place so that the first plan doesn't just screw up and just mess up on you. That's what you have to do. Just, when it comes to changing, having a game plan, always have a fallback plan. Never just rely on plan A to work and say, okay, this is going to work out perfect. This is going to be great. Nothing is going to happen. Because if you do, and something does happen, because things happen, you have to realize that things happen. Not saying that not saying that, and honestly, that's what happens with a tiki phobia, the fear of failure. Some people don't approach, certain things in life, certain goals. So basically, moving on, because our connection for whatever reason went down. So I'm currently doing like a recording, guys, until our connection can get back up there. The last thing on our list is position. Change your posture, change how you sit, change how you speak. And sometimes, it happens that way. Sometimes that's just like how it has to be. I've always told, like, when you're talking to somebody or whatever, don't just sit like this and be like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, my name is Kentrell, and I like to live stream. It's like people aren't going to be receptive to that. You got to be like, hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Kentrell. I like to live stream, and I'm a very ambitious person. I am out there. I love gaming. I love motivational talking and stuff like that. People will be more receptive to you if you are changing your posture, changing the way you speak, as opposed to, hey, everybody, my name is Kentrell. I like to live stream. I'm ambitious. I like to game, and I like to do motivational live streams and stuff like that. It's like, wait, what? You don't seem not a lick of ambitious about what you're doing. So changing, having a plan B, having a fallback plan, posturing, positioning yourself differently, speaking differently. It's just overall, it works with with your appearance, with your attitude. Ultimately, the diet definitely affects the mind and how the body operates. It definitely affects your thoughts, how your thoughts process and different things. It definitely affects of how you approach game plans and stuff like that. So it all like works hand in hand. It all works hand in hand. So what you do is you when you subject to change, these are the things that you have to intake. But once again, guys, thank you guys for joining me in this live stream. Well, it's also a recording now, but I'm gonna upload it later on. Just want to say I appreciate you guys' thoughts. I want to say that when you guys get a chance, check out the video, and just let me know what you guys thought. For those of you guys who are just looking at this video, my live stream connection had went out, so I'm currently doing a recording. But definitely go back on my Twitch account. I'm gonna upload it to my YouTube account and my Facebook account, and just let me know what you guys thought about the different topics and stuff. And if you guys like have any suggestions on different topics that we can talk about, just let me know in the comments. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you next time.